Welcome, everyone. We continue today with our ideals, ideas, and illusion. And today, following using a very abbreviated technique of the presence, we're going to be entering into a conversation about freedom, the ideal, freedom, the idea, and freedom, the illusion. For we enter into incarnation and we emerge through the darkness to develop the personality, the unreal, to align and to integrate and to begin to know the real as we become fused with soul consciousness.
Let the Lords of Liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to the sons of men. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, and come in safe. Come forth, O Mighty One. Let the souls of men awaken to the light, and may they stand with masked intent. Let the fiat of the Lord go forth. The end of woe has come. Come forth, O Mighty One. The hour of service of the saving force has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, O Mighty One. Let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. The will to save is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad. The active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, O Mighty One, and blend the three. Construct the great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end.
Master DK tells us that the initiate has always to express in each sign of the zodiac the consummation and the spiritual fruit of earlier life experience, world experiment, and soul achievement. Sounding as the greater group that has formed and is forming, becoming the channel for the dissipation of world glamour and the dispelling of illusion, we sound the protective formula as one with the greater group. As the soul, we work in light, and darkness cannot touch us. We take our stand within the light. We work, and from that point, we never move. We build the Antakarana, the bridge, the rainbow. Each in our experience, bringing that livingness into group formation. We follow the natural steps up to the field of soul consciousness. bringing the triple light of intuition, the light of the personal self centered in the mind, the light of the soul, the angel of the presence, and the universal light of the presence as the downpouring from the presence across the deep chasm of consciousness, achieving a new continuity, a new unity. We lift along the bridge, holding a point of tension, our intention, with purity of motive, inspired by the loving heart, is to envision as if we are the stars of the presence, projecting lines of creative lighted energy along the rays of the soul and the personality. We focus on the triple light of intuition, the light of the presence in a higher interlude. As we focus and build the Antakarana, breathing into the future, we become the rainbow bridge. We invoke the angel of the presence, let us radiate the qualities, the virtues of our group. The stars forming in the heavens, as one, united soul consciousness as we stand together. In the light of the new moon, the penetrating light of the path, with new freedom, leading to higher spiritual expression, activating the technique of indifference and aligning with the presence. In building the Antakarana, the bridge, the rainbow across the deep chasm of consciousness, we achieve a new continuity of consciousness, able to receive, the power to create groups or organizations which will express some idea or some thought which emanates from the mind of God, Sanat Kumara, and into the Ajna center of the Lord of the world, the new group of world servers, the developing one world serving group, demanding immediate precipitation upon earth as we radiate as stars in this developing constellation. Lead us, O Lord, from darkness to light, from the unreal to the real, from chaos to beauty, from death to eternal life. The goal of freedom is, in reality, the main incentive to tread the path of return. One of the most spiritually exciting things taking place in the world today is the use in every country of the word freedom. 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 Anchored in the world by a great disciple in the midst of the world war in a new and more universal sense. It now has a fuller and deeper meaning to humanity. linking heart, head, and ajna centers. Find the spark of monadic life hidden within the center of your being. Allow this point, that which you perceive as the presence, to permeate your entire being. Standing in the presence of the mother of the world. Aligned with the soul of all. Draw down soul radiance into the egoic lotus, the soul vehicle, the vessel of the soul in incarnation, in silence. Stand in the radiant light of the ashram of synthesis. We shine forth as stars, a new planetary constellation of light workers forming, united as one, with the one world-serving group. We affirm together, in the center of the will of God we stand. Naught shall deflect our will from God's will. We implement that will by love. We turn towards the field of service. As the triangle divine, we work out that will within the square and serve humanity. Standing in the field of our awareness, sensing the presence as a vibratory experience. Ascertaining the purpose, that which is seeking to embody form now carrying a world issue or service desire into the triple light of intuition. We are thus becoming duly recognized as a trustworthy agent of light. We await a hint of a truth that will bring relief to humanity, to bloom with ideas, through the angel and the spiritual triad. We align with humanity, still focused in the energies of the Piscean age and moving into the Aquarian age, becoming the enlightened throat center of the Lord of the world. Opening one's eyes to the sun of love allows one to ascend to the sky of truth and forget every dream. We contemplate freedom, freedom as the keynote for the world disciple today. And it is freedom to live, freedom to think, and freedom to know the plan, to know and plan, which humanity demands at this time. We say together, we are points of light within a greater light. We are strands of loving energy within the stream of love divine. We are points of sacrificial fire, focused within the fiery will of God. And thus we stand together in service. We are a way by which all may achieve. We are a source of strength, enabling all to stand. We are beams of light, shining upon their way. And thus we stand. And standing thus, revolve and tread this way the ways of all, and know the ways of God. And thus we stand. The fourth ray of harmony through conflict is a controlling factor in human affairs at all times, and peculiarly today. In the clarity of the light of Taurus, a new moon, the purity of light, stepping off from the axis of Taurus, Scorpio, we look forward to the incoming energies of Gemini and the placement of Uranus in Gemini, awakening humanity, a transformation of mind and heart. We invoke the energies of our developing constellation in group activity, group interplay, group intercourse, and group work. Let the forces of light bring illumination to humanity. Let the spirit of peace be spread abroad. May people of goodwill everywhere meet in a spirit of cooperation. May forgiveness on the part of all be the keynote at this time. Let power attend the efforts of the great ones. So let it be, and help us to do our part. We affirm our intention as we move forward in the light of Taurus, the penetrating light of the path into Gemini, the light of interplay. A line of light beams revealing that which opposes or the basic duality of manifestation, the relationship of spirit and of form. It is the conscious light of that relationship. We seek to learn a new rhythm, to enter a new field of experience, and to follow the steps of that advanced humanity who have trodden ahead of us on the path, leading from darkness to light, from the unreal to the real. We are in a state of transition between the new and the old states of being. We are vibrating between the condition of soul awareness and form awareness. We are seeing double. Our spiritual perception grows slowly and surely as the brain becomes capable of illumination from the soul via the mind. As the intuition develops, the radiance of awareness grows and new fields of knowledge unfold. with clear seeing, pure joyful will, and the death of personality desire. The keynotes of Taurus, ruling the new group of world servers, we repeat as part of the great invocation. We know, O Lord of life and love, about the need. Touch our hearts anew with love, that we too may love and give.
Om Bor Bhuasva Tat Savitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimai Dhyo Yo Na Prachodayat Om.
From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into human minds. Let light descend on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into human hearts. May Christ return to earth. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide all little human wills, the purpose which the masters know and serve. From the center which we call the human race, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love and power restore the plan on earth. Om. Om. Freedom, the ideal, the spiritual triad. Freedom the idea, developing in the mind on the higher mental plane. Freedom, the illusion, the concrete mind. Focused in the brain consciousness and trained through experience. The idea of freedom, often grounded in the desire and the sense of etheric physical constraint or restraint. As we move from the unreal to the real, let us consider freedom. Let's start a conversation today that we will continue as we move forward into Gemini, in the festival of the Christ, the festival of goodwill, the festival of humanity.
So as we start this conversation, Andrea.
Today, let us consider Agni Yoga Heart, Sloka 29. To approach us, you need an understanding of full freedom, unobscured striving, freed of all burdens, reveals the true path. Only a heart from which no cunning or corruption can be concealed is able to judge where such freedom begins. But the boundaries of the heart's freedom are subtle ones. What things do people manage to pile up around this subtle web? If the heart resounds to a distant earthquake, if our skin senses the warmth flowing from a hand, even over a considerable distance, then how much more strongly must the heart vibrate in response to human radiations? It is precisely this property that contemporary science fails to note sufficiently.
Thank you so much. Let's just pause for a moment and think into this sloka from heart. Andrea, what are your thoughts as you contemplate this?
Well, as I was in this meditation today, it suddenly occurred to me that freedom is so much more vast than we can even really begin to understand. But using our creative imagination and the as if, it suddenly occurred that it is almost when we stand as the Antakarana, that we stand as the will of God implemented by love in service. And that it is that spaciousness, that interconnectedness, that synthesis that suddenly is really that freedom that we have just this inkling of. It is so easy to think of freedom as an individualness or a state of being for each individual, and yet it isn't that. It is even beyond group. It is so much bigger. And there's times when you can feel a little spark of it, for me, in my heart, it's almost this expansion that sort of starts to occur. But it's so much greater than we can even imagine at this point in our evolution, I think.
Thank you. So as we move forward and we will approach Gemini, we'll begin to speak to this greatness that you just alluded to. You know, we're told that the law of freedom comes to our system from Sirius, and then into the system through the Sun and Taurus, Uranus. And we'll talk about that much more in terms of what that is, which becomes for us on this planet freedom of choice as the ideal. So thank you so much. And then we'll add into our conversation as we move along the ideas of others as we gather those, so that we can come up with a way of having a collective description of freedom from this highest point. Ben.
One should firmly tell people that the new world has come into being. People are not prepared to assume their places in the tasks of creation. It is an error to believe that conquest has any connection with the mission of the new world. Whether it is in the conquest of countries or of a special class of people, this belongs with departing ways of thinking. In the process of evolution, one can consider only the ascent of consciousness founded upon freedom of opportunities.
Let's pause and think briefly on this idea of the ascent of consciousness, these stages along the continuity of consciousness, as founded upon freedom of opportunities. Ben, do you have anything that comes to mind for you today in relation to that ascent of consciousness?
It's the dweller that withholds opportunities. You can't come here. You can't do this. Not for you.
Thus, the importance for us of using the technique of the presence, for the angel of the presence then can blot out the dweller on the threshold, releasing the freedom of opportunity to ascend, to move along the path that we see with a new clarity in Taurus, clear seeing and pure joyful hope. So as we pause our group, let's consider this particular quotation Helen, can you read today? Can you speak today?
Yes. Freedom from the point of focus on the higher mental plane. Freedom as the keynote for the world disciple today. What is this freedom for the world disciple? And it is freedom to live, freedom to think, and freedom to know and plan, which humanity demands at this time.
What comes to mind for you today in relation to this freedom for the world disciple?
What comes to mind is since the 2025 conclave, there are the new ideas for the coming century that are being sent into the world. And if people are to not only receive them and be receptive to them, as was mentioned in a previous slide, they have to be able to respond. And they need the freedom to plan and to think and to respond to ideas that are not about conquest, but about cooperation. The ideas are there, but the freedom to respond to them, I think, is what's being referenced in this passage.
Thank you so much. Judy, would you read this for us?
Sure. Let us imagine the Earth crowded with wireless stations. Just a few of the stations are of very high tension, high voltage. Of these, few will be directing the life of the planet. In just this way, there exist spirits of high voltage, spirits who charged up their accumulators when manifesting in the past. Their distinguishing feature is a firm awareness that their inner I is indissoluble, and from this consciousness is born the concept of a higher freedom. To the high voltage station is attached a network of smaller stations that receive its continual waves. That is how a spirit of high voltage nourishes its surroundings. It resembles a solitary tower that reigns over the entire region. This is the reason people are attracted to such magnets from their childhood and even overwhelm them.
What comes to mind for you today?
Well, when I think about the stations of very high tension, I think of the higher triad and the fact that if we can align and resurrect into that high attention, then we basically have the responsibility to bring through the voltage and to bring it through acts of creation, knowing that freedom is anchored in the real. So it's bringing spirit into form so that the anchoring for freedom is held within the real.
Thank you. So, Catherine, do you have any thoughts reflecting on this progression of teachings from Master Moria that we've been voicing and seeking to understand in relation to that highest form of freedom and the freedom of opportunities that brings to us?
Oh goodness, everybody's comments have been so helpful. I guess I'll just say, the idea of the subtle boundaries for the freedom of the heart that's waiting for more elucidation. On this particular sloka, I've been pondering the inner eye is indissoluble. I guess that means it doesn't dissolve into the whatever that's all around us all the time. It stays. It's an interesting thought, chemistry, something that won't, it's indissoluble. And then there's the old phrase that's important to voice, that we work on the freedom to do something or be something more than the freedom from. I'm going to stop there. Thank you.
Thanks. Martha, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, we think about what each of us has said. The word that grabbed me was spaciousness. And then the stripping away, the nakedness of reality apart from illusion. And the freedom to respond. It feels to me like we're coming into an architecture that we're seeing the plan as it operates. And in so doing, we become stations, magnetic stations that have a sphere. I don't think of it quite as raining, but definitely a sphere of interlacing tensions that intercooperate and energize. That the opportunity to become energizer bunnies, I guess is the term.
Oh, that's an image to breathe into. Margie, can you speak today?
I'm really feeling all of the energies that have been coming in from the Taurian influence, and I feel it as part of our service to maybe become one of the smaller receptive stations so that we can receive some of this voltage and transmit it to the rest of humanity to support this development of freedom for all. Yeah, that's about all. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you all. So let us, as we think into these teachings and then reflect on the comments that have been shared, the really good, true, and beautiful nature of the responses that have come through for us today in this time, and that we move forward knowing the goal of freedom is in reality the main incentive to tread the path of return. And we do hear it sounding forth in every country, from every group. It was anchored in the world by, it was actually Franklin Delano Roosevelt, is the sharing that Master Dwal Kul gave us about this anchoring in the midst of the world war in a new and more universal sense, which was at that time freedom from for humanity. So it has now taken on, over these many years, a fuller and deeper meaning, and that was expressed today in the comment of freedom to becoming this new freedom. So we will start off with this sloka in our next continuing conversation about freedom, as it moves down from that high level to the level of the idea of freedom, which requires this cooperation. And those who are cooperating by teaching freedom as a manifestation of the hierarchy from that great ashram of synthesis as it moves down. So gratitude to all of you and all who will listen and then choose to participate with us in June, or actually, in June, for our continuing conversation. And in the interim, we will have a meeting where we will have one of the members create an abbreviated, shortened, synthetic use of the technique of the presence, engaging us in the technique of indifference as we move forward into the light of interplay that Gemini creates for us, and that movement across the pairs of the opposites. So blessings and gratitude, and let's just sound the mantra of the new group of world servers, the One World Serving Group, in closing. May the power of the one life pour through the group of all true servers. May the love of the one soul characterize the lives of all who seek to aid the great ones. May we fulfill our part in the one work through self-forgetfulness, harmlessness, and right speech.